Okay, and here we are again for the second episode of Darkwood. Yes, the analysis we are carrying on with this game, developed by Acid Wizard Studios. So as you can see here, then a top-down psychological horror game. In the last episode we went through the prologue. Yes, we had some well, basic idea of how things work in the game. What is this? The title reads the use of mushroom in the household. Yeah, actually I have this things here that you get periodically on the game, but you can't really have a look on it. You can I never some of these things I never understood why they exist, like this one here. Perhaps just to make you guess what's the story about. Like mushrooms have a pretty important use here on the game. You see, yes, eventually. So I don't know. Perhaps all these items is just really pieces of the lore or something. I don't know. So okay, let's carry on. The first thing we need to do is actually examine the oven. A pleasant warmth is emanating from the oven. I can sense a strange yet familiar scent. Strange yet familiar scent. Yeah, I gotta remind you that this game is actually very story heavy. Yes, and actually a very rich lore indeed. Even though I don't know much about the lore, yes, or don't know where to find more about the story, because the game just really gives you an impression of it. It actually really teases your imagination, I think we can say. Let me continue reading this. It's the smell of the protective. The scent is the smell of protective substance, which give me relative safety after night. Okay, so the vapors rising from the huge cauldrons are distributed all over the house via long pipes. So these vapors we're seeing here come from this whatever the hell is that. Actually, I really like the art from that this guys made for this game. Really good stuff. So these things are producing vapors, which is spread over the house to keep me safe at night. So that's part of the story apparently. Now why, I have no freaking idea yet. As long as I remain inside my hideout, I have a chance of surviving the night. So yeah, this is very key for the game, and this is part of where the horror, the psychological horror comes in, where you have to actually be careful about the night. It's something very powerful, I think. Yes, it instigates the player. It actually plays with the player's expectation about what happening by the night, or what is in the darkness. You know, really messes with your curiosity. Which is why I believe this game ended up being so psychological. Now the art, just pay. I know that we normally don't do that on games. Stop to pay attention to the art, but man, look at these animations here. I have no idea how they did that. Now I have a background with drawing and stuff like that. A little bit, almost nothing on animation, and I really appreciate this art. I really enjoyed the art this guys brought here, and even the style. Yes, it really fits the theme. Yes, it's a very they really were very careful about the theme of the game, which is why I think that basically it made the game be as good as I think it is. Let's see what we have here. When I arrived here a couple of days ago, the oven was basically prepared. I just needed to light it up to ensure my safety at night. So wait, so he came here because we woke up on the floor. I don't know if you remember that. So the oven was ready, and yeah, so he was not carried here. He did not know how he got here. And apparently he came here. I don't know why he was on the floor. So we could tell that when he arrived, the oven was already ready. Yes, prepared. This cottage must have been one of our hideouts. Wait, one of our hideouts? Our? We who? The inhabitants of these woods don't need to inhale this revolting gas. Now this is quite interesting story-wise. So he came here on his own. Apparently, he wasn't carried out, even though he, according to the images we saw on the beginning, apparently was carried over here. Yes, by that those people, because we were attacked, supposed to be died or something. Or was that a dream? So he woke up on the floor, and perhaps it was a dream. Who knows? And then he woke up on the floor, but prior to that, he walked his way up until here, and everything was ready. But he says this was one of our hideouts. Now, who are we? Yes. because I thought we end up here after a certain accident. Yes, we've never been here before, but actually we have been here before. Yes, because he says it was one of their hideouts. Interesting stuff. And the gas is we have to inhale this revolting gas. I don't know why, but if it's revolting, why are we inhaling it? Why do we need it to survive the night? That's quite interesting. Perhaps it's something harmful for the inhabitants and the creatures. Yes, who knows? Let's examine the oven. So the oven right here. When I arrive here, oh, okay, no, this one is the one we already saw. Look at the weird bottle. This one, I suppose. The label on the bottle says, "Staying out of the reach of the protective substance after nightfall results in immediate death in 99 out of 100 cases." 99 out of 100 cases. So perhaps there's, if you are a little bit daunting, is that the word, or daring, you can sometimes try to get out of your hideout in the night, and there's a chance that you will survive it. Perhaps even find out something special. Who knows? Yes, I'm just guessing here. I don't know about that, but it will be interesting. I saw that kind of stuff before. Yes, a very small chance of something happening. Yeah, so perhaps, or perhaps, I don't know. I'm just making guesses here, really. So protective substance. Apparently, it's good for me and harmful for other beings, which are not us, which is quite interesting. So we are the alien around here, apparently. It is advised to evenly spread the gas inside the sleeping area. Warning: even a properly prepared substance does not guarantee 100% safety. Remain vigilant. Okay, yeah, so some creatures may still come inside. Yeah, it will not kill them. I don't quite understand how does that work. Anyway, perhaps it's, well, I don't know. We'll find out about that eventually. I'm just wild guessing. If you have guesses of your own, leave. Be careful about spoilers, of course. If you have already played the game, but you can leave perhaps some, tease on the on the comment section below. It is recommended to stay in well-lit indoor areas in order to minimize the risks. Yeah, this is quite interesting too. So let's see the pot inside the pot. This one, I suppose. A small empty cast iron pot. I haven't used it yet. I haven't felt any hunger or thirst since the accident a few days ago. So he used to feel hunger and thirst a few days ago, but he does not feel anymore. Is he dead, perhaps? Or like, that series Lost? You remember that? Have you seen that? Anyway. So this is basically the setting which we have to work with on the game, and perhaps we can figure out things like that. Now I'm remembering, while watching this, I'm remembering a certain game called, well, two games by the same developer, Limbo and Inside, I think was the name of the other game, which it really doesn't give anything about the story, and you have to guess it all by yourself. Are they doing the same thing here? I don't know. We're going to find out. I can't stop thinking about one thing. These mushrooms, this red pulsating mushroom that looks so tasty. Even though he doesn't feel hunger, interesting. Maybe this pot will prove useful after all. Cook. I don't think I have anything to cook, do I? No, I don't. So it's another funny stuff actually. You have to cook the whatever thing to actually inject on you. You won't eat it, but you feel they look tasty. Yes, but you don't eat them. That's actually funny and perhaps interesting, or I don't know. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so enough of this initial part here. Yeah, pretty much that's how you save the game. You access the oven, and when you leave it, it saves. Now, the first time I played, I haven't realized that. Thought, man, this game does not allow you to save, or well, when the outsave comes. But now I have figured that out. Let's start actually looting the house. Yes, there might be some very useful stuff around, and usually that is. Actually, took me a while to realize. Oh, this one does not have the. Wait, no, it's not here. I'm being dumb. Where is it? There's a workshop. What's the name of that? Let's just see what is here. A picture of a road home. What's this? Domu. I don't know what's that. So it's a picture of a road which leads home. I don't know. And I have no idea why it's here. Well, supposedly he has been here before, and that picture was left there before. I don't know. You can leave your own guesses and ideas on the comment section below. I will analyze them and perhaps agree or disagree. Of course, don't feel sad if I disagree, right? Uh, um, I probably will point out a reason for that, but we are here to learn, yes, together about story and whatnot. Yesterday I barricaded one of the windows. If I want to stay here for some time, I should do the same with the other windows. Okay, so yeah, he's teaching you what you should do, and that's actually a very good tip there. So yeah, apparently he came here, yes, on his own. I don't know what happened after that attack. The game doesn't tell us. And here's the workbench. That's the word I was looking for. Which took me, I don't know why, but it took me a while to realize we have the space to store things in here. So on my playthrough alone, without recording, I was actually storing things on wardrobes and I don't know, all sorts of different places around the house, because I haven't realized it actually. The workbench actually had a place for storage here. Don't ask me why, but I suppose it's not something important, I'm thinking, or meaningful, but it's a thing for the designer to consider. Yes, not important but interesting. Yes, material for a designer who might be for a game designer. Yes, to think about when making his game. You know, some important information about the user. Yes, the player. Okay, so we got this mushroom here. So apparently you can cook them, but you can eat them too, it seems. Can't you? No, you can't. Later on apparently you can. And let's cook it. Yeah, so this is the source of, I don't know what exactly source of what, of essence apparently, and with the essence you actually get skills, something like that. I don't know. Well, I don't know who I can strike 10 from this essence, so all the way up to 50 on the first dose, mind you. Yes. When you get to the second dose or beyond this number here, we actually start to get skills, and not only skills but negative things. I don't know what would be the contrary of curses, perhaps we can say like that. It's not the name that they use, but something of the sort. Okay, so yeah, we know how to interact with this game. Is quite easy to figure out, I suppose, if you are an average gamer, you know, someone who has played once or twice before. Now, if you are a new gamer, perhaps you might have some difficulty, but for consider the game is top down, it's already much easier. Yes, to navigate through it and to understand how it works, to learn the basics. Yes, different from what it would be to actually play a first-person game, yes, where you had to actually master not only the WASD key, the keyboard, as you have to master as well the use of the mouse, yes, in order to go around. Now, on top-down game, that problem is actually sort of minimized, let's say, yes, which is good, definitely. And perhaps if you are a developer, you are indie gamer, or sorry, indie developer, you might want to consider that on your game. Now, this was a fortunate choice for them. I don't know if they knew what they were doing when they chose this point of view. Probably did, yes. But they all also probably thought that it would be much better to, I don't know what's the combination of that. Never found out where's the combination for that. They probably, yeah, you have the saw here, which you can turn fuel into, sorry, fuel, well, sort of turn fuel and logs into planks, yes. We don't have any planks or wood. So what was I saying again? So yeah, they probably thought it was better to make a top-down game because it's easier, yes, to construct, to complete and whatnot. Not really, because it's easier for new players to learn about it. So there was something important here I was going to tell you. Probably will remember it again if it's really important. Let's end up looting the house. I know I'm progressing kind of slow in the beginning, but don't worry. I'm just giving you the basics, the idea, because that's the idea. That's the point. The generator is half empty. It contains enough gasoline for one more night. I should find a full can in the house above the underground entrance. What, the house above the underground entrance? Do we have a map? I'm here. Oh, there's a house all the way up there. I see. Yeah. So here's the point where, what is this? Turn on the generator before dark. Hiding in the shadows won't do you any good. They are coming either way. So yeah, this is the game, the developer giving you the basic tips. yes, giving you the minimum necessary to survive the game. The rest is up to you to realize and figure out in order to survive and to find out more about the lore. I think they did a good job, yes, about it. Even though, again, I'm a supposedly experienced player, as I have played many games before in my life, so I have a good pool of information to take my guesses out of. Yeah, so I'm not completely new to games, and hence I have seen some things before in my life regarding games, which I can guess that this game does as well. Yes, might do as well. So if I want to have a guess to try something, let's explore a little bit to the. Yeah, I don't have a way to tell what time is it. Yes, but supposedly according to the color of the grass and the things around, you can tell how dark it is. Let's see if we can find that extra gasoline can. Yeah, by the way, I think I was going to tell you that, but I forgot. You can disarm traps to get scrap metal. So there's a little bit of what's the name? Crafting. Yes, not much of gathering resources. You know, I mean, you find items and stuff, but you don't really gather resources like chopping down wood and stuff like that. Even though you need logs, but not like in most games. I'm here. What is the house then? There we go. The underground entrance. Underground entrance. Now, where is underground? That's interesting. So yeah, in the first, I was going to tell you that in the first time I was playing, I actually, you may have noticed that in the first, there we go, a board that will help us. Might have noticed that in the prologue of the game actually taught us how to. I told you actually in the first episode of this series that the game taught us how to fill up the generator, but when I started the game I actually forgot about. I didn't really pay attention to it, so I forgot how to do that, and I almost went through the second night without light. I don't know if that's that much of a problem, but it's not advisable. I'm thinking that it would be better not to do it. Let's just have a look around the house, see what we can find item wise, or like, you know, bear traps which we can harvest. I don't know if we can say that way, for scrap metal. So yeah, as I'm playing here right by the beginning, you can already tell what's the game about. Yeah, so perhaps you can even make your own conclusions already if it's a really good horror game or not. I mean, look at the setting. Yes, look at the graphics. I think we are going to go over all of that. This house is the house. I found the entrance to the underground here. This graphics is one of the things that make the game horrifying. Yes, this dark and heavy environment, but it's only one part of it. Just pay attention to the sound and to the music. Yeah, it really makes your brain walk into this this trap of the Darkwood. Yes, this environment. Yes, the game. Ooh, I almost stepped on that. Yeah, don't worry. We are going to step on a lot of bad traps and nasty stuff as we go on with our adventures through the dark woods. So, cycle between objects. What is that? Oh, they're closing that backpack here. Yeah, I also took a while to realize that. Even though the game clearly says that, I still managed to miss that information. Yes. Don't ask me how or why. What is this? A pack of cigarettes. Never found a use for that either. Well, up to the point where I went. I'm going to head back because this episode is actually ending, and I need to save before leaving. Actually, I don't really have to do that. I will head back there and I will save. So yeah, we're starting slow, but don't worry, we are going to pick up the pace as we talk about the basic stuff. We talk about the first impressions. Actually, you can leave your own what you think about the game and your first impressions on the comment section below. I would like to hear about that. Yes. So thank you for your time. I hope you come by the next episode. So we may keep talking about the game and playing the game, so you can get to know it a little more. Make up your mind about if you like it or not. If it's too horrifying for you or not. I think that being top down, it makes it a little less scary. Yeah, it's a little more easy to play for those who are not very fond of horror games. So I think it's a very interesting experience to be had with this game. Yes, the story. Whatever the case, and once more, And as always too, thank you for your time. I hope you come by then by the next episode so we may continue with all of this. Yes, see you by the next episode. Until then.